Hey, this is Donna Nova. The other day, on a walk to a new park where I had never been before, I saw that there were all these quartz crystals on the ground. So I picked some of them up. They're not necessarily the most beautiful, but they're interesting. And when I looked closer, I did see that there were clear quartz points in some of them, in the cavities. I haven't finished cleaning them. Anyway, I was trying to hold some of them and meditate last night, just to see if I could feel their energy. And also, I should say, I asked my Chris, my twin flame in spirit, recently for a physical gift. Just a trinket. Like, I have found lots of different dice. I've found 7 dice so far from him. See, look, there's a little point right there. Teeny little clear quartz point right there. Cutie. So a few days ago, I had asked him for something cool. I like to find gifts from him from the other side. Because it's just a little connection to him, It's just fun to see what he can do. And I don't have a lot of North Carolina crystals. And what I was told, I am a certified crystal healer, but my crystals have mostly been bought. I have a few, actually quite a few, that were from Arkansas that were given to me by a friend. Actually, several people gave me quartz crystals in Arkansas. So all of those were natural to that area, and I love them. I think it's my favorite quartz. One of these, from a certain angle, looks kind of like a heart. I was hoping to find a heart-shaped rock, because that's an easy thing that my Chris from Spirit can do. Oh yeah, let me see if there's points in here. That's interesting looking. I think that is. I wonder why it's points in the little pockets, but on the outside it doesn't look like that at all. I would like to clean these up a lot more, but I'm not sure I want to buy the chemicals. Anyway, I have been told by crystals that I have channeled, because I asked, is it okay that we work with you? In other words, is it okay that we harvest you? Because I have mixed feelings about crystal harvesting, even though I love them, and I love gemstones. I mean, all gemstones are crystals, like this star ruby. This is one of my jewelry designs, by the way. I am a jewelry designer. I just want to know, is it okay that we take you out of your home in the ground? And they said some crystals volunteer to be allies because they are alive. They are alive, and they are also like a technology. And they said some crystals volunteer to be our allies and to help us, and that they know where they're going to be throughout their lives. They have like an energy time stream that they can follow. And I said, and they said that's why sometimes when you get a new crystal, it just doesn't quite resonate with you, and you end up eventually giving it to someone else because it just doesn't feel like it's yours. And they said that's because it's not, and the crystal knows it, so it doesn't bond with you because it's not done on its journey. It's not finished. It has not reached its destination. So that was interesting. And they also said that for the crystals that we do harvest, we should meditate with them and send the energy of love and gratitude back to their original clusters where we harvested them to complete the energetic grid that they make around this planet. They said that crystals grow in a specific structure in very specific places because they are creating an energetic grid around the planet. And that when we harvest them, we disrupt the grid. I get that. That makes sense. So now I do that with all my crystals. And another channel that I talk to, who channels my guides for me sometimes, they said, the guide said through this channel that the crystals that are on top of the ground really want to help, you know. So I said, well, great. I need to find some crystals on top of the ground then, you know, to make sure that they're fine with being our allies, you know, in our homes. So I'd never found any crystals really on top of the ground myself. I have a little bit of North Carolina quartz that my friend saw when we were out at a really special place on a full moon. So I have a couple pieces of that. But I don't think I was really the one that found that. She did, you know. So this would be, I guess, my first crystal find. I thought this one was interesting. I need to get all that dirt out of there, the clay, to see what it looks like in there. I thought it was interesting that it's a portal, basically. If you can put water in there, it's a portal, and that's a lot of water. So now, you know, I don't know if it's related to the fact that I asked my twin flame, Chris, to help me find something in the physical, but probably. Because when I got home, I counted how many of these there were. And I also thought to myself, if I end up not really feeling like they want to be with me, I'll bring them back. You know, I could always charge them, because I do channel the goddess, the highest vibrational energy you can channel. I do channel that into crystals and other objects and artwork. So I could channel these into these and put them back and spread that energy, you know, to anybody who goes to that park. But I wanted to see if I could feel them, you know. I wanted to look at them closer. And I'm glad I did, because I would have never seen the little tiny quartz points in there. I've never found, like I said, I've never found quartz points at all. And I only have a couple of local North Carolina pieces of quartz, and I'm not the one who found them. Anyway, last night, this one, which I thought kind of looked like a sphere stand, and I have a sphere. This is called Cosmic Stone. It's actually barite in quartz. Now, barite, they say, is a very high vibrational crystal that can protect you on astral travels. And my story with barite involves Bigfoot. Now, first of all, I thought this looked like a great sphere stand, and it really kind of was. It's not perfect, but it's kind of like the perfect little natural stand for it. And I was holding this last night, and I started to feel a ton of energy channeling. I mean, now I didn't get to go into it long enough to find out what the message was or who it was that was contacting me. A lot of times it's my twin flame, Chris, but sometimes it's the goddess. So I don't know what it was, because I popped out of it, and I was tired, so I went to sleep. But it could be a combination of this local quartz who wanted to work with me because it was sitting right there next to where I was walking. Now, keep in mind, and maybe you don't know, I am legally blind. I'm visually impaired. So for me to be the one that finds the quartz is probably unlikely, especially because I wasn't looking. I wasn't thinking there's going to be quartz out there. I was just taking a walk. So I'm the one that found these. They were laying right on the ground where I would see them somehow. And so I thought maybe this energy is really going to want to work with me, you know, because it meets all the criteria that the channel said the crystals want to work with us if they're on top of the ground. And I already love that area where I found them. I used to live out that way, and the energy is really great. And there are beautiful crystals out there that are clear quartz. These just are not it. So my barite story, and it wasn't with this piece, but with another piece of barite. I ordered a mystery crystal scoop, like a mystery bag of crystals. And one of them was a tower of barite. And I had definitely wanted some, but it was expensive. So I was extremely happy to get this. And I realized I had gotten the one shown in the picture on the website, which is cool. And it's because it had a specific marking on it. It has a black line around the top that looks like a magic marker, but it's not. It's a wishing line because it goes all the way around. So that was cool. I don't have that crystal right here to show you because I boxed it up for safekeeping. But the day after I got that crystal, I fell asleep for a nap in the middle of the day. But before I fell asleep, okay, first I grabbed that crystal because I want to know if it, might help me travel or something. And before I fell asleep, immediately I am flying through the forest. It's a local place here that I already suspected was a portal because of how the energy feels. And my twin flame, who is on the other side of the veil, basically he's in a higher dimension of spirit, he told me this is when I am not asleep, but I'm tired, getting ready to go for a nap in the middle of the day. I'm flying through the woods in this place where I thought there was a portal. And he is confirming for me. He's holding my hand. He's confirming this is a portal. We can use it to connect between the dimensions just, like you thought. And then he says, hey, remember how our other friend channeled a Sasquatch or, Bigfoot earlier this year? I'm like, yeah. And he said, well, they travel in nature using portals. And we can do it too, basically. He's bringing up a conversation that I had with another channel friend of mine who did talk to a Bigfoot. And so I thought, okay, cool. And I like to write these events down when they happen. Whenever these psychic events happen, I write them down. But I was about to go to sleep. So I said, can you remind me of this conversation when I wake up? And he said, yep, no problem. So I went to sleep. When I woke up, I went to Facebook. Now, I had posted a picture of the view across the little creek of the trees in this forest spot where I had just bilocated. I posted a picture of this place earlier that day, or maybe the night before, because I had just been there the day before. So I go there right after waking up from the nap that I had right after I bilocated. This is called bilocation, by the way, because I was there. I was there in the forest, but I was also inside my own body. So you wouldn't say it was an out-of-body experience because I didn't leave my body. I was aware that I was in my body, but I'm also flying through the woods with my twin flame, who is not, he's no longer in the physical. And I go to Facebook after I wake up, and I look at the comments underneath the photo of the place where I had just bilocated to. I hope that makes sense. And this person says, hey, I see Bigfoot in your photo. And by the way, did you know that they travel through nature using portals? And I'm like, so you just repeated the entire sentence that my Chris told me in a bilocation right after I woke up? I mean, and I looked at the picture and it did look like Bigfoot. There was a blur, sort of brownish blur Bigfoot shape hovering in the opening above the creek, which is where I felt like a portal would be. It literally looked like Bigfoot was materializing in the portal. I'm not saying it was that, but the synchronicity of the fact that she said that was my proof that I had bilocated and heard every single thing that he had said, literally. So I knew that this was real. I get this kind of confirmation all the time where something will happen and you might doubt yourself, but I will get confirmation in the physical that it was real. Because my guides do not want me to doubt this because I have a mission and they don't want me to stall myself by doubting it. So anyway, barite is this same crystal as this. That was the crystal I was using that day when I bilocated to the forest. And barite, I was reading a book called The Crystal Prescription, and it says that barite needs to be used with a crystal therapist because it's that strong. And I laughed. So I don't know if that's one of the reasons why I bilocated like that. That's happened to me a few times where I bilocate in the middle of the day when I'm getting ready to fall asleep, because you're in that liminal space, the space between wake and sleep. You're not asleep, but you're not awake. And that's definitely where I was, because I was definitely not asleep. I know that. This was not a dream. You can tell when you're in that space. So, I don't know if that's why that happened, because now I can bilocate not necessarily whenever I want, because it's tiring, but yes, I can bilocate whenever I want, basically. Last night, I put this barite onto this particular quartz, and I was holding it, and I just felt so much energy channeling. So I'm going to keep doing this and seeing what these crystals have to say, because these are the first ones that I've really harvested myself, and they were sitting right there waiting for me right after I asked my twin flame to get me something in the physical. And there are 9 of these, which I didn't know until I got home, and 9 is significant for a lot of reasons. One being it's the ending of a cycle. 2025 was a year 9, because 2025 reduces to 9 if you add the digits. And I also have a lot of more synchronous things with the number 9 with my twin flame, such as his birthday is the 27th, 27, that's a 9. The first day we actually officially got together as a couple was February 7th, which is again 27, which is 9. We dated for exactly 369 days before he transitioned into the non-physical. And there's 27 months between our birthdays. Again, that's a number 9. That number, I mean, there's a lot more than that. That's just what I can think of off the top of my head. So anyway, I recorded this just because I'm going to probably stop typing up these descriptions of my events and just record them, because it's easier to talk than to type. And I think it's more fun to watch a video than to read a bunch of text. You can get a lot more information that way. I can explain all the details a lot easier. So that's what I'll be doing probably more from now on. If you watched all this, thank you.